Hey guys, so today I wanted to go over a tool that I often use for Pinterest scheduling. It's one of my absolute favorite tools and it's a must-have if you're trying to grow your Pinterest account. It's called Tailwind. Tailwind helps you schedule pins so you don't have to live pin, and it's kind of how I get to scheduling up to 100 pins a day, which is what I recommend doing for your Pinterest account. So today I wanted to go over kind of an overview on how Tailwind works because I get a lot of questions about it. People aren't really sure how to use it, so then they just choose not to, which is a huge mistake because Pinterest is the #1 driver of traffic for almost all of my clients. So whether you're a service-based business, a blog, an in-person business, whatever you are, make sure you're on Pinterest because I promise it will help drive traffic and ultimately drive sales. And it's free to use. Pinterest is. Pinterest is free to set up a business account. And Tailwind, it is a paid program, but it is fairly reasonable. I think it's about 10 euro or $10 a month, maybe, somewhere around there. So nothing crazy, and it's well worth every penny spent. Okay, so let's get started and chat about Tailwind. So today I'm going to be using one of my clients as an example on her Tailwind account. When you first set up your account, when you log in, you're going to see something like this. This is the dashboard overview. And what I absolutely love about this is that immediately upon logging in, you have those great statistics right at your fingertips. So you can see up here how many repins you've had in the last 7 days, how many you had last week. So you can see like this week we're not doing so great as the week before, and this is how many we've had total. You can see how many pins from your domain that you've had in the last 7 days, the new followers you've gained in the last 7 days, how many you gained last week. So it's a really great way to kind of keep track week to week how you're doing. Are you continuously improving? You know, last week, was it better than this week? If so, why? What was different? That kind of thing. So it's really great. As soon as you log in, you can see all these statistics. You can see recent comments and your most repinned boards. So that's really awesome. Also, if you've just set up your account, Tailwind will actually walk you through kind of getting everything set up. So you can see, like, of course, hers is already completely set up. But if you're a new account, then it will show up here kind of how to do things to get set up, which is awesome. So when I log in, I first check all the analytics, kind of look at everything. And then the second thing I do is I go to the pins. So what you're going to do is you're going to go over to publish, which is this little like microphone symbol, and go down to scheduled pins. And as soon as this loads, so these are the pins that I currently have scheduled for her account. You can see them two ways. You can see them here in your scheduled pins where you can see exactly what the description says, what board it's going to, the picture, and what time it's going at. And you can also see kind of a more brief overview over here on the right side under your schedule. It's kind of it just shows the picture, and if you hover over it, then you can see things. So the best thing about Tailwind is that it automatically will generate a smart schedule for you. And what that means is that it will take the times that are best suited for your account for engagement and kind of give you those to pin at. So you can see like 7:25 p.m. and 6:08 and 6:15, all different times. These are the times that have been successful for her, and they're different daily. So it's not like they're just giving you the same, 45-minute increments of time every day of the week. They're doing something different, which is awesome. So if you're a new account and to get your kind of schedule set up, I think when you first come into this page, you'll have like maybe 2 or 3 pins set up in your schedule. And you definitely want to increase that. Like I said, you want to be pinning anywhere from 50 to 100 pins a day. And I do that through 2 ways. So I do it through Board Booster and Tailwind, which Board Booster is kind of another thing to use. But speaking with Tailwind, I would say that typically you should be scheduling maybe 25 to 50 pins through Tailwind a day. So how you can do that. When you go over to your schedule, here at the bottom it says add remove time slots. You're going to go ahead and click on that. And then when that pops up, you can see that all these green ones are the ones that I currently have for her set up. You can, if you want to, go through and say, I decided that I want to, add in 105. Then just click on it and it will add 105 to your schedule. But typically, what you want to do when you're first getting started is you want to generate new smart schedule. So if you click on that, and then you're going to select how many times you want to post per day. So let's say you want to put 25 in there, and I'm not going to actually do this because I don't want to generate her a new schedule. But you can put 25 in there and hit generate new schedule, and it will automatically populate with about 25 a day. It does take a look at, optimal time. So maybe one day is 23, maybe one day is 27. Typically on the weekends you can see they're more. So here they're 26 and 26, and the rest of the days are about 20. So that's a great way to do it. It's super easy. It takes 2 seconds. And there's really no thinking about, I got to look at my analytics and I got to see what's the best time. So it's really great to use. Make sure you set your time zone so you kind of know where you're at with that. And then, like I said, if you want, more or less on one day, just go ahead and add them in. But otherwise, then your schedule is all set up. So the next thing that I think is really great to look at is once you kind of get going and you've pinned a few things, and you've used Tailwind for a little bit, then you can go over to your publish pins. So it's if you're in the scheduled, you can just switch over to the publish at the top. And then you can see kind of the highest performing pins that, that you have. So when you first click on it, it's going to bring up all the pins that you've pinned and kind of show you your highest ones first. When you pinned it, if it's got any comments, if it has repins, what the pin was, and where you pinned it to. Typically what I like to do is I like to look at specific pins for myself or my clients. So I'll go to all pins from my website. Okay, and then immediately I can see the pins that are doing the best. And the great thing about this is that I can quickly either reschedule them, so I can send them out to different boards, or if I've joined new group boards or something, then I can reschedule them to those boards. I can find similar content. So typically if you have like a really high performing pin, maybe not your own, that you want similar content to, you can just go ahead and click on that and it'll bring it up, or you can add it to tribes. And we're going to talk about tribes next because that's another awesome thing of Tailwind, and actually you can have tribes without even paying for Tailwind. Tribes are essentially a group board that's specifically through Tailwind, so you don't see them on your profile. And we're going to go ahead and head over there. So it's these like little 3 people symbol that says tribes. And if you click on it, when you first come here, you won't be a member of any tribes. So you'll have to find tribes to join. And the way you can do that is constantly in Facebook groups, people are posting about tribes. So look through there. If you Google Pinterest tribes, a lot will come up there that maybe you can find in your niche. You definitely want them to be niche specific. So you can see she's a food blogger. We're in Best of the Best Recipes as one of her tribes. So what you can see quickly is a little bit about the tribe, how you can join, what it's about, the tags, the rules. So that's really important. Just like group boards, there are rules. So you can't just join tribes and pin all your content and no one else's, because that's not really fair and that's not really the way it works. So don't do that. It's not cool. This is a 2-to-1 tribe. So you want to pin 2 for every one you leave. And then recipes only, and they must be high quality, vertical, pinnable images, which you should be doing anyways, and then no spam. So you can see that, and then you can see the content that's been in the tribe. So it's a great way to quickly come in here and type in a board name. So this would be great on her fall food board, and go ahead and add it to the queue. So super easy. There we go. I scheduled a pin. I can go through and do these for any of these that look interesting. The great thing is that I can see up here in the corner how like their popularity score, so you can see how many times they've been pinned on Pinterest, if they've been shared on Facebook or Google+. It'll show it all up there. So it's really great to find like high performing pins that you want to pin and you want to kind of get in on the action to use. You can also see how many times it's been repinned in from the tribe. So if anyone else in the tribe has repinned the pin, so you can see here, this has been reshared by one member. These haven't been reshared by anyone yet, probably because they were just added. But it's a great kind of way to see all of that, quickly add stuff to your queue, and get really great content, because a lot of this content is, really, it's beautiful content. It's got keyword rich descriptions. It's, some of them are already going viral, which is great. So tribes are a really awesome thing. And then you can also see like what you've received. So since we've joined this tribe, we've received 39 reshares and about 500,000 reach. The tribe overview, so the whole tribe, what's happened, and then you can see also either here or at the top how many pins I've shared of this account and how many pins I've shared of other people. So how many I've added, how many I've shared. And then you can just go ahead and toggle back and forth from your tribes up here. So she is only a member of 2. I would recommend anywhere between like 5 to 7 tribes. You don't want to get too many because you do have to keep up with them, and you do have to, pin other people's content if you're pinning to them. So just join, a few that you're really going to be active in, and the ones that are going to give you results. So if it's a tiny tribe with like 2 members, it might be okay if it's just starting in the beginning, but it's probably not going to give you the reach that you're looking for. So you kind of want to have already established, bigger tribes that are going to give you that reach. So that's the second thing. The other thing that I absolutely love, and I don't want to make this video too long, is you can get even more in depth with the analytics over here. So tracking your brand page, monitoring your domain, all of this is really great in-depth analytics. It's super nice to use. So that's something that you do get some analytics on Pinterest, but not a ton, so it's great to have these. Okay, so the only other thing that I want to share with you is that Tailwind has a browser extension, and you probably can't see mine because you can't see up there, but it's just essentially their symbol up in your browser. It's a button you can download, and the way that it's so great is that if you go to Pinterest, it's so easy to quickly schedule pins. So if I go to her Pinterest and let's say I'm going to look for those fall food recipes that I had pinned to earlier. So if I go to fall food, and I maybe want to type in something a little more specific because I've pinned a lot of these. So maybe we want apple related fall foods. So then of course Pinterest is going to bring up everything related to that. And I'm just going to scroll down a bit so that it loads a little bit, so you can see over here it's loading them. So once a little bit are loaded, I'm going to click the browser extension that I have up here, and it's going to bring up the pins, and it's going to say select pins to schedule. So honestly, it's so easy. What you can do is you can just go through and select any pins that you like. So these look delicious. They're making me so hungry. Oh my gosh, these all look good. And you can see also how many repins they've gotten. So you can see these are pretty gigantic pins, which are awesome to pin to your account. So you can kind of jump in on the bandwagon. So we're going to select, all the pins that we think look just so good for fall food. Okay, you can keep going through this, but for the sake of time, I'm just going to select these 10. And then what you're going to do is you're going to go down to this button that says Go Schedule. So once you click Go Schedule, it's going to pop up in a new window. And you can add a board to all up here, or if you were just, maybe on your general board, you can go ahead and go through and just type a board on each one of them, which does take a little bit longer. So if I like to pin similar content all at once, because then you can do it kind of in one fell swoop. So I want to pin it to fall food, and I'm just going to do a quick check to make sure that everything has a check that's green. And kind of what that means is that it has, a web address that it's pulling from. It hasn't been pinned to that board before. So if it's a pin that's been pinned before, then of course it's going to have like this little yellow mark just to warn you, which is awesome. So you're not pinning duplicates. So I can see that all of these are green, which is great. I can, if I wanted to, quickly share it to Facebook or to Twitter, and I can also add it to a tribe. I can set a custom time for the pin if I wanted to go out at a specific time. And for the sake of kind of showing you, if I also, let's say, wanted to add this to the dessert recipes that we have, because it's a dessert, it looks delicious, then I can do so. And I can actually set an interval so that on your feed, you're not pinning. If you would add 4 or 5 boards to this, you don't want this to come up 4 or 5 times right in a row on your feed, then you can just use an interval. Say, I want to make it at least 11 and a half hours between pins so they're spaced out enough, they look great. You can either add it into your open time slots, or you can click optimize, which is what I typically do. So those are kind of your highest time slots that are available. And then you can hit select set interval. So it's super easy. Like I said, you can do that for one, you can do it for all of them. And then once you're done and you've got everything kind of situated and figured out, then you just go up here and hit schedule all. And in those, 2-3 minutes maybe, I scheduled 10 pins. So like I said, it can be really, really quick. The other great thing is that because I typed in dessert recipes last, it's going to pull up dessert recipes, but it'll pull up content that's similar to what I just pinned. So typically I love to kind of scroll through these just really quick and, okay, like this looks delicious, I'm going to add that to the queue. So then that's scheduled. You can refresh suggestions. So if you're getting really great feedback and you're like, oh my gosh, all these are awesome, Tailwind, you're so smart, just hit refresh suggestions and they'll give you new ideas. Otherwise, once you're kind of done in here, you can just hit close to your browser and go back to Pinterest. And then you can see it just kind of pulls up where you left off. So maybe you just want to scroll down further and find more, or you want to type in something else. Either way, it's super easy. I can switch back over to my scheduled pins, and I will see the ones that I just scheduled there if I scroll all the way down. Overall, it's such an easy, simple tool to use that really is a no-brainer for adding things quickly and pinning really great quality content. They're always ready to interact with you. As you can see, Emily keeps popping up down here with some suggestions. So if you ever have any problems, I know they do like free webinars and things like that, you can get in contact with them down there. Otherwise, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. I would be happy to help. And if Pinterest is just something that you're feeling like, oh my gosh, I know I need to do, I know I need to be on it for my business, but I honestly don't have the time to contribute to it, I don't have any time at all, then contact me, because that's what I'm here for. I would love to help. I love getting into Pinterest accounts and kind of just revamping them and making sure we are driving traffic to your website and driving sales or whatever your end goal is. So I would love to work with you or chat with you further about how we can help with your Pinterest account. But I really hope that this Tailwind tutorial helped. If you're interested in Tailwind, just sign up on the link below. Yeah, and let me know if you have any other questions. Otherwise, thanks so much for tuning in and have a great rest of your day.